Hello and welcome to Fin Business. Today we are in conversation with Mr. Jyotendra Mehta. He is the president at Sahkar Bharti and the chairman at Gujarat Urban Cooperative Banks Federation. Welcome on the show, sir.
Hi, Namaskar.
So, urban cooperative banks is a very vibrant sector in the cooperative sector. So, what are the challenges that are in front of urban cooperative banks since there are quite a lot of competition from the emerging players in the field?
See, challenges are a very wide subject. So let us restrict to the difficulties we are facing right now and in future also. But let me start with the advantage and today and the our age in the banking sector. See, right now PSU bank are suffering from high NPAs, as we all know. It is 12% plus, and our 1,580 urban co bank in India, our total NPA is 7.2, as against 12 plus of PSU bank. Same thing, our net NPA is collectively 6.2, but our net NPA in Gujarat is 0.51. So, this is we have proved ourselves after Madhavpura episode and after we have passed through the acid test. Regulators has taken trial, our depositors has taken trial, media has taken trial, and we have faced everything, and quite a few of our bank either wiped out or merged. So, taking into consideration the past of Madhavpura, see, if you divide the sector into two class, post Madhavpura and pre Madhavpura. So, pre Madhavpura, there were less regulatory requirement or under-regulated by RBI. I would place this subject under-regulated. But post-Madhavpura, it was over-regulated. So, over-regulated had played a vital role, and over-regulation has really bring us to the level which was expected to be. Now, we have proved to be better than the PSU bank. So, particularly in Gujarat also. Gujarat, we have 220 cooperative bank, but looking to the net NPA 0.51 is the real winning point to declare by us. So, this is what in present situation. But there are challenges, there are obstacles, and only biggest challenge is technology. So technology is ever changing subject because technology today may be not relevant tomorrow. Some different technology might have come, and as Uday Kotak had said in one interview that when I sleep at night, I fear that when I will rise in the morning, my competitor will take away my business by having another technology. So technology has always been challenged, and technology is ever changing. But the challenge is, by looking at the NPA, we have proved our professionalism. However, it might be because of regulatory need also, but people have performed, our cooperative banks have performed in such a way that we have proved our professionalism in that sense. And so far as challenges are concerned, marketing is another biggest challenge. Till today, we are dealing with the small borrowers and small depositors. We don't know Vijay Mallya or we don't know Nirav Modi because our as it is said in the one of the RBI report, that 90% of total advances of urban co-bank is less than 5 lakhs. 90%. So we deal with the small people, we deal with the middle class people. So looking to the nature of urban co-banks, we had never been trained for marketing. So right now what we are facing is lack of advances. After demonetization, we were flooded with the deposit, but now it is reducing because of the market trend, and people are diverting their funds to mutual funds and other remunerative investment, even capital market also. So, but quite a few of our banks don't meet with the criteria of CD ratio. That is the most challenging and dangerous proposition. We need to learn the marketing. What private banks are doing, they are expert in marketing. And however, our segment is different. We should learn the marketing. That is the biggest challenge. Another biggest challenge is to attract the youth. Youth is very difficult, and youth is being attracted by technology. So they would not like to come to cooperative bank for manual work. But at the same time, 40% of our banks are unit banks. They are placed in such a small town that and their size is ranging from 2 crore to more maximum 40 crore. So unit banks, they don't need technology, and people who are habituated with the dealing with unit banks, they will not go as of today because they are not exposed to technology also in this small town. But the time will come. They will also find technology as a better solution for banking. So that is the biggest challenge for us. But so far as regulatory concerns are there, our next problem is BOD and BOM. Sector has not accepted this proposal. But my suggestion to RBI for BOD and BOM will be, you exclude Tier 1 banks and unit banks. Tier 1 and unit bank, they are very small to perform, to have BOD and BOM. It is not feasible, it is not practical also. So you exclude Tier 1 and unit banks, but for the bigger size bank, any bigger, it should be voluntary. And don't penalize them, you incentivize them. If you will bring BOD, BOM, we'll give you branch license. If you will bring implement BOD, BOM, we'll give you certain facilities kind of thing. So this is the area where BOD, BOM should it will not get success by enforcing. It should be acceptable as the sector wanted. So BOD, BOM formula, my proposal is, it should be voluntary, and it should be not for smaller bank, it should not be implemented right away.
I will have a specific question on the issue of BOD and BOM, but coming on to the growth part, it is considered that the growth is not equally distributed. A few large urban cooperative banks are catering to the more cornered growth numbers. So whereas the small urban cooperative banks are the major chunk of it, you mentioned the 40%, there are almost 40% unit cooperative banks in Gujarat Federation. So
Gujarat, India?
Yeah, across India maybe. So what is the strategy that these small banks need to adopt? Is it that merger amalgamations, or is it sharing a common technology platform, a common data center, a common technology platform would help them to scale up themselves and be an equitable part in that growth percentage?
See, common strategic alliance is the best option. Umbrella is the final option. But right now, Gujarat Federation has done a Gujarat model differently. We have done this alliance. See, when CTS was introduced before 3 years, check truncation system, it was very expensive. One bank had to invest 1 crore rupees to have the software and the hardware and everything. We had at Gujarat Federation, we are the only federation have formed an umbrella organization of Gujarat only. So under this umbrella, we have decided to bring all the banks together, and smaller banks are either connected with bigger bank. They are connected with Gujarat State Co-op Bank or Rajkot Nagrik Bank or Kalupur Co-op Bank or Surat Bank or Mehsana Urban Co-op Bank. They are big bank. So geographically, they have been connected with bigger bank. So CTS is there, data center sharing is there. We always welcome and encourage the data center to share. Rajkot Nagrik Bank is also sharing our data center to small bank without taking any fees. So this is the strategic kind of thing. RTGS, NEFT, all small banks are doing with the bigger bank, and that too cooperative. However, quite a few of them are connected with the private banks also, but they have managed the show. So strategic alliance is the best option. Umbrella is the final option.
Absolutely. The point you have raised, market share, is really important. The market share of public sector banks is declining at a slow pace, and the share of private sector banks is automatically growing up. Not only private sector banks, but you have fintechs who are equally as good as banks, though they are not physically present, they are digitally present. You have payment banks, India Post payment banks. So the market is becoming very competitive. So how should the urban cooperative bank sector be ready to face this forthcoming? What are the changes they need to make in themselves that they should be ready to hold their market share and increase their market share?
Only two questions to be addressed by urban cooperative. One is technology, and second is attracting youth. And youth will be attracted by technology. So, both are interconnected, and we need to improve ourselves. We need to have some expertise. That cannot be changed. The culture of urban cooperative cannot be changed overnight. So, umbrella is another solution. In Western countries, umbrella was evolved from bottom to and reason like umbrella. Here we are late, and it is not evolved in natural way. But if umbrella is brought from the regulator, then also it is okay. So umbrella will be the solution to increase the market share, to have all the entities intact, and still they can perform in such a way that collectively they can work together. And you may be aware about the umbrella of Western countries. At the time of global meltdown, only cooperative banks survived. All big banks were collapsed. All big financial agencies were collapsed. Only cooperative banks were survived because of the umbrella. So we need to introduce. If you take local incidents, say we have a place called Bhadrad. We have a 112-year-old bank, and that is today also it is Union Bank, and their deposit is 15 crore. So far as market share is concerned, collective market share, cooperative bank may have lost the market share. But Bhadran, our market share is better. So far as local consideration, if you consider local trend, till today, Bhadran is having 8 other banks than the Bhadran Urban Co-op Bank. But our Bhadran Urban Co-op Bank has not lost their market share. So it's a different angle to look at the situation. Same thing is Jambusar, that is 108-year-old. That is till today. It is the Unibank. But still, in Jambusar, they have retained their market share. So it's a different angle to see the market share and what is our contribution to the society.
So coming on to the point of umbrella, so as of now at the national level, pan-India level, the umbrella is still in its nascent stage, drafting stage. But with Gujarat, you have proceeded with the creation of an umbrella. What are the key 1, 2, 3 points that you think that umbrella will bring a turnaround in the sector, and the same points that can help a pan-India perspective?
Implementation of umbrella is also challenge. But where there is will, there is way. And I understand if Reserve Bank of India will take positive step, will encourage umbrella, then it is feasible. And we will have another inning to play, another 100 years. So implementation is of course a challenge, but gradually we'll find the solution.
But if I ask you what would be the role of umbrella if in its practicality, that how would they really help the cooperative banks? Would it be a financial help, non-financial help, a consultancy help on those lines? If you can guide us.
Right now, Gujarat is having umbrella, but it is non-financial because RBI has not given us the liberty to deal with the financial thing. But in future, there will be financial help also. Not only help, if some banks are having their excess of fund, they can park with the umbrella. And some banks are in requirement of fund, they can get from umbrella. Some banks are not capital adequate bank. They will also get the umbrella support. Since the umbrella, what RBI has envisaged, umbrella will be a corporate sector, so they can tap the market to bring the fund. So that is what the RBI has a vision for umbrella, that it should be wide capital base. With the heavy capital, they will come with the in the sector. Sector will invest, and public will also be investing.
So talent is a very crucial factor in the banking sector, not only urban cooperatives, but the overall banking sector. How will umbrella organization as a parent organization help cooperative banks with talent in imbibing professionalism on that perspective?
See, I understand that umbrella will provide product, will provide the policy, will provide the people, and will decide the prices. So 4P should be taken into care to run the industry. So umbrella will provide HRD support and technology, and for that, see, right now the smaller urban cooperative bank has to go in the market and find out the vendors, and vendors take them to ride. So instead of going to each and every bank going to the market, the umbrella will provide the expertise. So umbrella will help in such a way that they will be able to handle the situation for the future.
Coming back to the question of the board of management and board of directors, RBI is of the opinion that there is a dire need of professionalism, whereas on the other hand, the sector feels that they have emerged very well in the past in a decade since Madhavpur has happened. What do you think that where should there be a balance between both these 2 points?
Let us introspect. What is the professionalism? Does professionalism mean the MBA and suited booted type who is wearing tie and speak in English? So, when a unit bank speaks in their language, that is professionalism. When a unit bank performance is better in NPA, that is professionalism. I was in a seminar of chartered accountant. They asked me a question that there is allegation on you, means corporate banks, that you have lack of professionalism and you don't understand professionalism. So I told them that what is professionalism for a unit bank which is placed in the population of 10,000, 12,000, 15,000. Professionalism is totally a different concept in the 40% of urban corporate where they are unit bank. Yes, this Saraswat Bank professionalism is different thing. For Cosmos Bank professionalism different thing. So it is professionalism is a relative term. It might be MBA suited booted English speaking person for ICICI Bank because they don't deal with the person. We deal with the person only 5 lakhs. We lended 90% of our advances less than 5 lakhs only. So there lies the professionalism. Of course, professionalism is needed, but enforcing professionalism and bringing professionalism is totally two different areas. That is why I had requested RBI that unit bank and tier 1 bank should be eliminated. They should allow gradually BOM, BOD. And for the larger bank, other than unit and tier 1 bank, it should be voluntary. Once they will accept, they will start improving themselves and they will be able to do their job.
The other feedback from the sector is that maybe not institute a board of management as a different institution, but rather make it as a subcommittee or some extra committee or some professional committee. How does this sound? Would the sector accept it if it is just regulated as or guidelined as which is the management committees and professional committee or expert committee, but not a board of management, and which does not supersede the board of directors?
If you name a subcommittee, it is same BOM. It is just a different name. BOM is BOM. Another committee is also BOM. But I would like to ask a question. I know a cooperative bank where 15 out of 17 board members are chartered accountants.
That's a good number.
So, do you need professionalism there or BOM there? I know a very big bank. Entire board is professional. We need to understand the definition of professionalism for unit bank, for mid-sized bank and large bank. It's a relative term.
Okay. So to get it right, RBI needs to more specifically emphasize what they mean by professionalism, and they should categorize in these 2-3 different banks.
I would put it in such a way that RBI should understand the culture of unit bank. RBI should understand the culture of tier 1 bank and large bank. We have only 47 multi-state scheduled bank. So it's a different regulation should be there.
on the recovery aspect, the customer service aspect, a whole lot of dynamics is changing. You have banks using different kind of scorecards based on analytics data for the recovery as well. So, and how do you see this in the cooperative sector?
You can just understand the recovery aspect by looking at the figures. when our figures are better than PSU Bank, so our recovery system is better. However, let me point out here that PSU banks are doing compromise in such a way that they forego the principal also, interest as well as principal. We have not compromised. We are not allowed to compromise because of the restriction in Cooperative Act. If I wanted to give 5 crore more, I can give, but I cannot forego 5 rupees.
5 rupees, absolutely.
So, under the worst situation, we are performing better. So, this is the question is to be asked without compromising policy, without OTS. Some of the state government has given us OTS, but it is still not adequate. Looking to the as compared to the PSU bank.
How do you see the urban cooperative banking sector in the next 5 years?
If umbrella is there, we will request successful umbrella is there. RBI will come out with new licensing, the new urban cooperative bank to be licensed. They will, because there is unbanked areas in India where only urban cooperative bank can have success stories. Northeast and even Gujarat, there are some areas, unbanked population. So if successful umbrella is there, RBI will definitely come out with the new licensing policy to be given to urban bank.
And also RBI had come up with a draft guidelines on the conversion of urban cooperative banks into self-finance bank. That is absolutely voluntary. But how do you see this?
See, it is all about privatization. To privatize a cooperative bank, we don't endorse the view. 100% we don't endorse the view of privatizing the cooperative bank, because cooperative bank is a legacy. It was started by some, if I will give example of Rajkot Nagrik Bank, it was started before 67 years. And who had started? Government had not contributed a single rupee. Tata Birla has not contributed a single rupee. It was started with the capital of 849 rupees. And who started? 2 government servant teachers were there. 2 very small retail traders were there. 2 small SME industrialists were there. So it was started by the middle class people to cater the needs of middle class people, to cater the need of the smaller strata of the society. Now, to convert it into private bank, if I convert Rajkot Nagrik Bank, then I will catch hold of more than 51% shares and I will become owner. So, taking a social asset to a private hand, that is not allowable, because cooperative spirit is different. We are there in the cooperative sector for social work. I am there to do my social work in the cooperative sector. But so that's why my conscience will not permit the privatization. It may be small finance bank or the full-fledged bank or whatever it is. But privatization is the basic thing, which I don't endorse.
So, one last question. To have an equitable growth amongst all cooperative banks, what do you expect from the urban cooperative banks who have been lagging behind, and what are the things that they can start implementing, they can start working upon?
1,580 coop banks in India, they all are independent. So, you can't speak about the equitable because it differentiate with the, it has something to do with the geographical situation, it has something to do with the managerial aspect. So equitable is only possible when umbrella is there. But the geographical condition may not allow a bank to grow, because as I had already spoken to you, we have so many examples of unit bank. Unit bank are still today, they are getting the local needs of the local person. Bhadra and Jambusar kind of thing. So there cannot be equitable. We cannot ask Jambusar to grow beyond the limit. So equitable, yes, we can always speak about increasing the market share. But market share, if we collectively come together, we will be able to increase our market share.
Alright, so on this note, we'll end it over here. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you.